Hey Planet Watchers, how are you doing? So hello everybody. This is going to be a very important session because I believe we all need to sit down for a second and chill out. And that includes myself because I've been a bit hurt by some items that I read on our social channels. So why so? Because in the last few days it has emerged that our communication on some matters had been misunderstood by many people. Since that was many people, I have to take responsibility for the fact that the message was obviously not clear enough. So here I am. If many of you misunderstood it, it means it was not clear. So my bad, okay? Now, at the same time, let me say that some people have really gone over the top and used the word lying, which I found completely inappropriate and unfair. To me, lying means deliberately hiding the truth and misleading somebody in order to gain some benefit. So I don't want to get into this, but let's move on. But I will explain to you in a minute why the misunderstood matter is one that brings no benefit to us, rather the opposite. Okay. So let's get back to basics. A few announcements. The Arquino September batch sales are starting today. Emails are being sent out as we speak, I believe. So right at the end of September, but we managed to make it by September. The Kythera September batch sales will start on October 5. It was a little bit of delay related to customs. The matter has been solved, but again, this added a few days delay. Talking about delays, Bitmart is telling me that they hope to be able to manage the launch of Planet's listing on their platform by October 18. So again, a bit of delay, but in this crazy world and crazy crypto worlds, these delays just happen. So it's beyond my control. I believe they will keep this commitment, and I believe things will work as planned now. But I would have preferred, of course, an earlier onboarding. Another somewhat technical matter, the payments on our website from non-European Planet Watchers are no longer being processed via PayPal. Now you will be asked to pay via credit cards, and the transaction is processed by Stripe. This is temporary because, again, as soon as the token is available in the US and Canada and worldwide, payments will move into Planet-based payments. Okay. Now let's get into the misunderstanding. Well, first of all, an action point that I assigned to myself. My action point is to publish and maintain a clear, exhaustive, and continuously updated FAQ, frequently asked question document. And I will personally double check every single answer. It's going to be very time consuming, I'm afraid, but I need to be 100% sure that what you read is what I said. Okay, so that's task to myself. Updated, exhaustive FAQs. And I'm looking forward to a situation where the mods most of the time will be telling you, read the white paper, read the FAQs, so that there are no ambiguities, no interpretations, no misunderstandings, as much as possible. So maybe the best way to explain the misunderstanding, explain what happened, is by start writing together these FAQs. So, sorry, I have some disturbance that I will remove in a second. Okay, sorry about that. So again, I propose to spell out together the first FAQs for this project. FAQ number 1. What is the goal of PlanetWatch? Answer. PlanetWatch aims to become the global leader in environmental monitoring by building valuable data products based on crowdsourced data streams from approved sensors. So that's the goal. I think that if you guys are aligned with this goal, the number of possible misunderstandings will be small, because everything we say is in the spirit of achieving this goal. Okay, that's the goal. Now, how can I contribute to PlanetWatch? Well, in order to contribute, so in order to stream data to PlanetWatch, you basically need two things: a license and an approved sensor. Now, question number 3, how can I get a license and an approved sensor? So here we get into the heart of the matter, right? The misunderstanding was about whether or not approved sensors can be bought from third parties, in particular for type 3 and type 1. Now, before I get into this, remember FAQ number 1. Our focus is data. Our goal is to have approved sensors streaming valuable data to us. Now, but there is an issue here about hardware, which is not a trivial one. So let's think about it for a second. We, as PlanetWatch, will have 3 possible approaches to hardware. Approach number 1, if we were capable of building hardware for our use cases and sell it, then we could say, we build the hardware, we sell it, it's PlanetWatch hardware, you can only connect PlanetWatch hardware to our network. Okay, so we have full control of the hardware, here's the hardware, and we are fully responsible for it. This is not feasible today. We are looking into developing some hardware on our own, but that's not how it is today. Okay. So the other extreme, the other possible approach on the opposite end is actually more or less what the Helium network is using as an approach. So I suppose most of you are familiar with the Helium network. So let me mention how they operate with respect to hardware, because I think it's good food for thought. So what do the Helium network do when it comes to hardware? Well, on their websites, what they say basically is, here is a list of hotspot models which have been approved for using the network. Please, I'm reading their text, please do your own research, as a vendor listing does not equal endorsement of recommendation. So this approach says, we tested the number of devices, they work, but that's as far as we go. You buy it outside, do your own research. There might be spoof devices, there might be vendors who are less reliable than ours. It's your hardware is your problem to some extent. We will tell you this works, but then it's your problem, buyer beware. Now think about it. If we had taken this approach, our life, my life in particular today, would have been much easier, because we could have said, this device works in principle, go buy it, talk to the vendor, make sure you get genuine hardware. If it doesn't work, talk to them, it's not my problem. To be honest, initially we thought of taking this approach, but then we realized that we were avoiding a real world problem that we wanted to handle. So if we did not get involved at all with hardware, we felt there was a significant risk that PlanetWatchers like yourself would be unable to procure sensors, to get sensors, because market is very tight. So either you don't find the hardware because somebody else bought it, or you are exposed to sudden price increases, and it's the Far West out there, right? So we don't get involved. We live a good life, quiet life. You don't, because it's difficult to procure hardware, make sure it's genuine, and get a decent price. So for this reason, we felt that at least for some of the sensors of interest, we could make a service to the community by buying in bulk some sensor lots. So trying to build some stock on our own, and then reselling them to you guys in an orderly fashion by using license sales as a placeholder on waiting list at controlled price. Okay, so we get some stock, and the stock we have, we decide the rules of the game when we sell it, and we base it on license purchase order. Again, the spirit of this was to ensure that at least some sensors could be made available to the community at favorable prices and not get scooped by maybe a few big players. So we felt this was something in the interest of the community, and it was an effort on our side, because it's a crazy damn job to manage global logistics, negotiate prices, and sell stuff. Moreover, there is one more reason why we did that, for example, for Kythera, because some devices, such as Kythera Sense Edge Mini, are not sold by the manufacturer to retail customers, because they were initially meant for B2B use. So again, you guys found it on being sold by entities. These entities are not the manufacturer, as far as I can see. The company Kythera, who is the manufacturer, is not selling retail. So either we buy in bulk and resell to you, or there is no safe way to get it, let me put it this way. So I'm saying this for the third time, sorry. The spirit of selling sensors to you was making a service to the community. Because reselling third-party hardware for us is more pain than gain. There is no question about it. Now, the delicate point is that I believe we never said you can only buy from us, or I think I didn't say it myself. If the message was misleading somewhere, my bad, because I'm the CEO. So I'm sorry about that. But you also have to bear in mind that think of what happened with Atmotube Pro. Some people bought it from Atmotube, the manufacturer, others bought it from us. So again, generally speaking, you can buy any piece of hardware, either from PlanetWatch or from a third party. But it's not the same thing. Let me put it this way. Why it's not the same thing? Remember what I said about Kythera maybe a month ago. I said something like, when you buy from us, you get a 2-year warranty and we'll cover all calibration, cartridge replacement costs over each sensor's lifetime whenever we decide such measures are necessary, as long as sensor work. Now, if you buy SenseEdge Mini from another vendor, well, first of all, they may not give you a 2-year warranty. They might give you maybe 1 year. Moreover, if it turns out that the sensor needs recalibration maybe 2 weeks after you bought it, maybe because it's a refurbished device, could happen, right? Then, sorry, we will not cover this cost. And again, somebody will say that I didn't clarify this before. I clarify it now. The concept is you can buy either from us or from other parties. If you buy from us, we will spell out what you get in terms of warranty and servicing. If you buy from other parties, just do your homework, buyer beware. So, okay, this is the message, which if it wasn't clear, it's by definition my fault, and I'm sorry. But the message is, we approve sensors. In some cases, as a service to the community, we procure some stock and resell it to you under control conditions based on a waiting list. But it will always be possible that somebody, for example, buys from us and then resells via eBay or wherever else. So it's impossible to say, to control all sales channels. That's a general feature about the web, right? So if you got it from another channel, I don't think it's sensible to refuse to connect the network to the device to the network. So we won't refuse. You can get a license and you can connect, but you have to be aware that you bought an item from some vendor, and it's up to you to check what you get in terms of warranties, servicing, and all that. I really hope this is clear and this solves the matter. Once again, I've seen a lot of turmoil on this, and I'm really saddened by it. Not just because some attacks, I think, were borderline offensive to people, but because the project is really progressing well. We are a startup, so we cannot deliver everything on time, but nobody can deliver anything on time these days. If you think about hardware, not even the big guys. So we're doing our best. Misunderstanding should not occur, should be mitigated. The best way to mitigate misunderstanding probably is to spell out and gather out of your tickets, build out of each ticket, deliver an FAQ with a question and an answer, keep these FAQs up to date, review them regularly, and that's, I believe, is the best we can do. Once again, I'm repeating, maybe because all people repeat things, or maybe because I believe this is really, really important. You can buy wherever you want. Not all vendors are born equal. If you don't buy from us or from the manufacturer, be careful. You might be in a position of taking a risk on warranty, calibration, performance, or something else. Okay, do your homework. Now, I'd like to move on now to a few questions as usual, which I will answer one by one. Now, first question, what does a successful 2021 look like for PlanetWatch? That's a nice question. Now, based on what I just said, and on the fact that it is crucial for us in this phase to grow a community which is happy and with trust, I would say the first goal now is to deliver as many sensors as possible to current license holders. Okay, let's first get this done as much as possible. And then we do the rest and we do the fancier things. How much do you believe in your project? 100%. Which means that I'm very excited about our progress. I'm very sorry about all the misunderstandings. There are a lot of good things going on in the background, which I cannot disclose yet, but there are. Now, there are some questions which to me sound like conspiracy theories, which I really don't like. But I mean, the question is about whether or not we sold X Erquinos to some companies. Please don't deny it. Okay, there's nothing I will deny. I'm just going to build yet another FAQ. So the FAQ to me is, do you also sell devices to companies? Yes. When we feel that this helps achieving our goal, please go back to question number 1. The goal is to grow the network fast to make data relevant. And once again, unless our data achieves some critical mass, they won't be relevant. So again, let's not talk about tokens, but if the project is small, some people might feel we are early adopters. Oh, hey, we got lots of tokens and then there is saturation coming up. But the truth of the matter is that the project value is correlated to the size of the network and the quality of the data. This will emerge very, very clear in the medium to long term. And we are working in that direction. So you should bear this in mind really. Every time you think about PlanetWatch, you ask a question, you get an answer. Because that's the goal we have in mind, is to build big green data which are relevant. So we will follow any sensible route to achieve this goal, including talking and doing business with companies, because companies can aggregate communities and then help, of course, growing the network. Can you tell if the new Type 2 sensor will be sold by PlanetWatch or from the manufacturer? That makes me shiver now. So let me give you a safe answer. Most devices will certainly be sold by PlanetWatch, but disclaimer, some devices might hit the market sooner or later via other channels. For example, somebody buying from us and reselling on eBay at a premium, or somebody doing whatever. But again, seriously, the message is buyer beware. If you buy from us, you get some warranties and some conditions. If you buy from somebody else, just do your homework. When will Kythera be shipped after payment? So the goal is to deliver within 2 weeks from the emails being sent. Okay. When is the next batch of Type 3 Sensage Mini available? November, if all goes well. Again, let me say, just for the zillionth time, the fact of buying in bulk or reselling to you is not really a profit center for us. It's a burden, and we do it because we believe it's in the interest of the growth of the network. But be a bit patient about this, because it's a difficult job and it's not our core job. Okay, the next question is quite interesting. Somebody has checked the data provider page on the Reset website. So this Reset is this indoor air quality standard, which is our reference standard for Type 3 devices. So somebody has noticed that there are 16 sensor manufacturers which are listed having devices compliant with Reset. Now, the question is, why are you not onboarding all these devices in one go, I guess? Now, the thing is, it's a bit delicate, because on one hand, all reset compliant devices are in principle good enough for our type 3. However, onboarding the sensors to PlanetWatch has requirements which go even beyond the hardware part. For example, a key point is that we need unlimited API access to the data of the sensor. Now, some manufacturers allow that, some don't. Some manufacturers allow that, but there are additional costs involved. So if we want to buy in bulk and resell to you, and then maybe we get charged heavy fees for API access, how do we pass these fees to you? Should we? Do we fold them in? In some cases, we'll be able to make a good offer to you. In other cases, it's not feasible on financial terms. Then, sure enough, if you want to buy a reset compliant sensor, again, the advice is don't just stop at the fact that it's reset compliant, because unless we officially say it's onboarded and approved by us, you should not just buy devices because they are reset compliant, because there are tricky points. Okay, so we will always make official statements about which devices are approved by us. Once it's approved, you may want to buy it through alternative channels, but maybe we'll discover that you are charged fees for a data transmission, or you will discover that we just offer you a better deal. So that is the heart of the matter. On the other hand, somebody is asking me whether it will be possible in the future to buy all sensors through us. Who? As I said, it's a big challenge. We are working on gradually looking to develop some hardware of our own for some case studies. Of course, that's a big challenge. It's not something that you can achieve overnight. So, incidentally, if we did that, I'm sure some people would criticize that, saying that we're building a monopoly. So these are all very complex matters. So for the time being, we are doing what we believe is best for the growth of the network. So onboarding a relatively small number of devices, handling sales when it makes sense to do it. It's not a monopoly situation. You can buy approved devices from ourselves or from others. And that's how we are today. What the future bears, we don't know. We'll try to improve. What are the rules for interior sensors when it comes to hotels, schools, hospitals, etc.? Again, the answer is very direct. Anybody who owns a PlanetWatch approved sensors and connected to our network is subject to the rules spelled out in the white paper. If the question is about tokens, so tokens go to sensor owners. If the sensor owner is a corporate, they may want, for example, to swap them for planting trees and things that I announced we will do. But the basic rules are always the same. There is no shortcut outside the white paper. Okay, I think that's what should matter. Okay, the last question, possibly, or maybe not the last, no, is something where I need, again, to apologize, because that was a genuine mistake of our team. And our team means me, as far as you're concerned. Okay, so it was my mistake. As you know, last week we managed to get a batch of Atmotube Pros, which belong to us, in the Amazon.com store. And we didn't handle the communication very well. What happened is that the page enabling you guys to buy sensor from desktop went live in the late morning France time, and sensor got sold out very quickly. Now, on grounds of fairness, what I should have done was to set a precise timing for opening those sales, communicating that in advance, and then, okay, it would have been a clicking game anyway, but at least everybody would have been on the same footing. So that's an example of yet another mistake on my side, something I take responsibility for. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes you have to make tens of decisions very quickly, and you have lots of priorities, and something slips out. So that's an example. Question about certification for Aquino for the rest of the world. I got no feedback on that from the manufacturer. And again, that's an scenario where I should probably say, not my problem as the manufacturer. I don't think it's nice to say it's not my problem, because since I want to spread my network worldwide, it is my problem. But I don't have control on this information. So the best I can do is to ask and reiterate my requests. So I don't have an update on this for now. Are there concrete plans to drop NFTs? Now, as you know, some very early adopters got an NFT from us. This is indeed an area that where we want to do something, to deliver value to the community, and where we can and will reward the early adopters based on license purchase order. So this is where we can do something cool for you. We want to do it, but of course, first priority as of today is to focus on sensor distribution. But this is something we will do. Question about whether sensors sold through B2B channels, so to companies, require a license, and if these licenses are added to the figures in the license page and all. So B2B licenses are not accounted for on our website for the simple reason that our website is a dedicated sales channel for the community. It's the community sales channel. So that's what it is. On the other hand, the Explorer obviously shows all active sensors in the network, regardless of who the owner is. So information on the Explorer is the network up to date, up to the second information about the PlanetWatch network. Information on the website in the sales pages, in the e-commerce pages, refers to sales to the PlanetWatch community, not to companies. So I hope this is clear again. So I've come to the end of my list of questions. I would like to finish this stream saying what I usually say. We are a young company. We have a very precise goal. We have lots of people and entities supporting us. We are doing our best to achieve the goal. But the goal is what I stated at the beginning. And we will pursue a business plan and a roadmap which is coherent with that goal. And if you bear this in mind, and if you are somewhat understanding about the fact that we are a startup, I think we can handle all the issues in a decent and proper manner. At the end of the day, it's a matter of trust. So if you really believe that we are lying, we have a habit of lying, then that's not a good start. If you believe that we are doing our best, I'm sure we can build value together. Thank you and have a great evening. Bye-bye.